And joining us now is John Hardie, the director of the Russia Program Foundation, from the Foundation, for Defense of Democracies. All right, what do you think both leaders are hoping to achieve from this one-on-one, especially given that Ukraine is not going to be at the table?
Right. Well, thanks for having me. I think Putin's goal here is to enlist Trump's support in imposing the Russians' hardline demands on Ukraine, which, as you noted, includes a withdrawal from territory that the Russians have been unable to take by force. And that's just the price for an initial ceasefire. Then would come additional demands as part of a final settlement, including permanent Ukrainian neutrality. The Russians have also been asking for demilitarization and a host of other non-starter demands. So I think for President Trump, the goal really has to be to start whittling Putin down and getting him to a place where he understands that the war is not going to end unless he learns the word compromise. Ukraine is not going to withdraw from vast swaths of territory unilaterally. They're not going to demilitarize. The question of NATO, perhaps there's some room there. But on many of the Russians' demands, they're just non-starters.
How might this summit play into broader U.S.-Russia relations moving forward?
Well, I think both sides have been trying to entice the other with the prospect of cooperation on economic issues, on other geopolitical issues, on arms control. The Russians have basically tried a tactical delinking or bifurcation of the Ukraine question on one hand and then U.S.-Russia relations on the other. Today, Putin hinted at the possibility of new arms control agreements if the Ukraine crisis is settled, which leads me to believe that despite that kind of tactical bifurcation, he still wants to use that prospect of cooperation with the U.S. as a kind of incentive to get the U.S. on side on Ukraine. I think, fortunately, right now, the U.S. administration is not falling for that. They've made sanctions relief and other things. So far, a condition on a ceasefire and ultimate settlement.
Do you think that this could mark the start of a shift in the U.S. approach to the Ukraine war?
So I think President Trump says he's going in as a listening exercise, a feel-out meeting. For a while now, he's been getting more frustrated with Putin, especially these missile and drone barrages against Ukrainian cities. I would hope that if we come out of this summit without much progress, which I think is unfortunately the most likely outcome, President Trump will return to that pressure, which is what generated this kind of initial momentum in the first place.
All right. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us. We're going to turn back to our